All right, welcome back, folks. We should indeed be getting towards London Esports versus Mythos. I am really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. We were literally just talking 10 seconds ago, some of the lineups here. We are sort of personally familiar. For me, it's Daiko and Mythos. I do a bit of casting for a little game called Brawlhalla. Maybe people know it. But of course, he's their top laner. He's a pro player in Brawlhalla, so I kind of know him, and it's that transferable skills, I think you call them. I'm not so sure. We'll see. And then you were mentioning, the bot lane over on the London side. So a bit of a personal aspect coming into this matchup. However, the teams themselves, of course, last week, both looking relatively good, I think, straight out of the gate.
Yeah, and we're just all trying. There's a lot to take in this pick ban. We're diving straight in, and already, this is what you do. You first pick the Misfortune, if there's nothing else you want to first pick, because you don't want to hand over, the Misfortune Leona to Mythos. And the response here is to pick up the Jarvan. I feel like getting the Xayah here, maybe you just want the Rakan instead, because then you get a really nice combo, and you don't really need the Xayah immediately, but they're thinking, no, okay, we'll just make sure we're not getting a really rough lane of it first, and the lock-in is actually going to be the Braum into that Rakan. So we're zooming on through this one, and already two very strong teams. A lot of nice wombo potential coming out. The Braum being picked, of course, to deny the Misfortune counter, and it also does pretty nicely versus the Xayah. She's not going to be launching too many feathers through that one, whilst still maintaining a nice wombo in the bot lane with Misfortune. And you bring that Gragas in as well, you're having a really good time. So mid laners and top laners, the solo lanes are the only things left on the table as we go back on into the bans.
Kled once again getting removed, so it does seem like, a lot of these top laners do like to I think it's quite a good
Soraka's open
solo queue. But I mean, we'll see. The second phase ban coming in, maybe that's what they're...
And Kled is a Soraka counter, so...
I see. Okay, yeah, of course, that makes sense. And Zoe getting out of the way.
Don't do it. Mythos, don't do it.
I think they're tempted.
I mean, they have two opportunities to pick it now.
Oh, okay, the Teemo being covered. Now,
try to find out what that is.
As I kind of mentioned with Daiko and everything, I think he's the one issue that he has at the moment, at least in kind of the sphere of, playing in a team, is his champion pool is a little limited, right? I think he plays very solo QE kind of champions, not necessarily like meta-based picks. But I feel like the Aatrox, unless we hear anything different, it's what he played last week. Follow him on Twitter, it's what he tweets about playing an awful lot. So maybe as the weeks go on, teams may realize that, it's certainly an area that they can look to constrain as the top side of the map.
It is Aatrox.
Okay.
Well, no proxy there for Teemo, just a bit of a troll. Something interesting about Aatrox actually is LS, famous LCK caster, also known as your acronym of choice, was going on earlier about how he thinks that Triforce Aatrox is actually sleeper OP. He went on a whole thing about how he thinks that Triforce is better than Cleaver on most champions in most situations, right?
Yeah.
They're not saying that Cleaver was useless all the time. Definitely had its place, but he thought that the whole champion that started the thread was, he was saying, Aatrox. And the important part is that it really changes how you play your combos. Apparently it plays a very different champion when you're working around having a Triforce instead of just having a Cleaver and slapping people about. So if you're saying that Daiko is a bit more solo queue, he's a bit more of a, a bit less of a sort of traditional player, he might be looking to try out that new sort of build. But meanwhile, the rest of the picks have been locked in. We've got that Victor Orianna in the mid lane, and Fiora to be the counter in top.
All right. So it does look like we should not have to wait for the champion select to get reset. Interesting that we don't see the Leona coming out at all. Just kind of the way that it works. I think, the Xayah Rakan is pretty solid. A lot of bot lanes like to go towards that.
So what happens is, obviously, the Misfortune is the first pick.
First pick the Misfortune, and then because the Xayah responded, it's like, okay, if you don't pick Braum, they'll pick Braum, because that's really good with the Misfortune, and it will... it's really good with the Xayah and will counter the Misfortune. But then if if you're against Braum, you don't really want to pick Leona into Braum. So whilst Leona would have been good into the Rakan, and that's part of the reason that Mythos picked the Xayah first. Because, okay, if we pick the Rakan first, they'll just insta-lock the Leona and we've lost lane. So if you pick the Xayah first, then you put them in a situation where they have to pick the Braum. You don't have to worry about a Leona ruining your Rakan. Braum does still have a decent enough time versus him, but it's not quite as disgusting as the Leona would be.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's why you're the colour and I am not. But yeah, it's certainly looking like, you know, some fairly kind of decent champions here. There's a lot of scrapping going to go on in that top side. I think both of them like to go towards the split push it. Now, what I'm kind of a little confused by, and I'm not sure, maybe it is on our side on the U, we'll see when we get into game, but Potet Salat, right, which I know Viperoon really hated saying last week, and I can already see why, doesn't have TP, which I think usually you go towards on the Victor anyway, but in the team play side of things, you know, most teams opt to go, regardless of what you're playing, for the double TP on either side. So I'm not sure if that is a little bit of a mistake or not.
Well, could be an issue on Iron, but I don't think so. The Victor, he's also having confirmed he is running Ignite, yep. So the thing about the Ignite is you can't proc it as the Victor because you have the move speed from the Q, obviously. And you see he has gone for Electrocute as well. So he is really looking for a lot of kill pressure. And this says to me that we're going to see that level 2 gank coming through from Foreshore. It's just a lot of early pressure from a Jarvan in the mid lane. That's why you want that Ignite, because realistically, in this, the way this lane usually goes, you're not going to get too much in the way of range because you're just going to be throwing lasers on the wave. She's going to be clearing on the wave. It's, you know, mage versus mage. That's how it's going to go. But when you bring Foreshore in, you can then start to get that siphon power, get the move speed in, throw down the Ignite to go with your Jarvan. So there is definitely opportunity for kills, but if they're not getting the ball rolling early, it's like you said, you now don't have the TP. You're going to lose the 1-3-1. You're going to not be able to catch those side lanes efficiently and get that extra gold into your carry in the mid lane.
Early wards being placed down, tiny bit of damage. Not much action though, as to be expected.
So No Name has picked up a machete, and I wonder if that's actually good. Okay, so obviously Gragas is a pretty big fan of the old whatchamacallit? Talisman, because you do your AoE camps, right? But if No Name wants to look for a really early gank on top, he's going to do this. He's going to do something like Red Wolves Blue or Red Blue Gromp, something like that, you know? So if he's not looking to do this full clear into the sort of bot side when recall get your Predator, which you don't have to do anymore, this could actually work out really well. It really forces you to look for a level 3 gank. That's the thing. It really makes sure that you have to just do free camps, look for a gank, because then you need to recall so you can get your Talisman. But I think that Mythos didn't see it, and so this could work out pretty well if he gets that gank off, especially up in the top lane.
Yeah, and like I've said, last week, you can just kind of see it, you know, the top side seemed to be a little weaker for Mythos. I don't mean to keep getting at Daiku here, but like, you know, he went down 2 kills, I think. You know, he died twice quite early on, sort of one after the other as well. So a bit of a test, a bit of a litmus test, right, to see whether he has indeed improved. Now, it's exactly what you have said is happening towards the top side. We've got For Sure coming in towards middle, up against the level 2 Orianna. However, the Orianna, as you can see, is aware, hits level 3. Should be able to get away from that quite quickly. And just kind of playing safe, right? And Jarvan's very apprehensive to go in. So, smart read towards the mid lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, we shall see here... Oh, the stun not going to land. Daiku able to get the Umbral Dash away. Both
now
ganks
this is
not really coming off.
Well, this is rough for No Name now, because they have no information on where Foreshore is. He doesn't know if Foreshore has done some sort of full clear. Meanwhile, he's showing top, not getting anything done, and because he has this sort of machete start, you know, he's now not able to clear the rest of his jungle very quickly, so he moves on down to the crab. So it's just a free chickens camp picked up there for Foreshore. Yeah, he wanted to find that gank onto the mid lane, but Dom, on his Orianna, he's very comfortable on that champion. Plays it well. He knows, yep, jungle is top side, I'll ward top side, I'll play to top side. And there's no chance of that gank happening, especially when he knows that Foreshore started on the red buff. So They're able to get a little bit, and a really bold invade here from No Name, to be honest, because he has no idea where Foreshore is. He just walks into the chickens, and now is going to E onto the Krugs. He has no idea that Foreshore's not anywhere near him. But it works out. Meanwhile, DireQ has less than one. Well, he has exactly one wave of CS.
Not ideal.
Oh, no. Now his wave is pushing out as well. This is rough. He is in a very sticky situation. Could get frozen on up here, and DireQ is nearby now. Foreshore seems to have a little bit of an inkling of what's going on here, as he did just ping out No Name. And yeah, DireQ, dangerous situation if he goes up for these creeps.
Yeah, he used his dash already as well. I think this one comes off. Not going to miss it. The flash coming through. He's trying his best to survive, and he's a little close there, to be fair. I think his flash needed to come out earlier, though, right? It needed to flash away from the flash stun. Too little, too late kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You flash it, or you flash the body slam, or you flash nothing. Now, Death by Lopops is stuck in a 1v3.
Yeah, the roam up coming in really early from Laokai. Flash from him, though. That's kind of a little more how you do it. At the very least, they get that out, but DireQ expending his TP, which is fair enough. I think he would have done that anyway, just to get back to the wave.
Yeah, but now because the roam from Laowa, yeah, Oliver and Blue Spirits are just moving on into the Drake, and you've got a Predator jungler. He's blown the Predator just to get to the Drake. And you have to respect that a lot. It's pretty useful here. As Dom and Potet Salat have no mana, so not a lot going on in mid lane. Yeah, really nice response, and Blue Spirits and Oliver know that they can start up this mountain. Yes, a mountain Drake, so it takes a long time. It is the tankiest dragon, but they know, yeah, No Name will just Predator in. It doesn't matter that he was just top. We know he's got his recall going, so gonna have a pretty good time here. Gone down, managed to pick themselves up. The first Drake of the game. Next one will be a Cloud, which does mean there's an opportunity for a nice calming Ocean Rift, which I think both teams would like here. Potet Salat has no mana, and Dom is just looking to set up a really nice wave here. If you can just tank that one a little bit longer. Potet Salat has obviously no teleport, and as such now Foreshore has to come in and try to break this freeze. He's level 3, so maybe the gank's not going to be optimal. We could look for the EQ Flash Smite, or Flash EQ Smite. Nice guy Dom, walking up a lot. Doesn't have too much mana. Maybe he is getting chunked out here. Foreshore, yeah.
And Potter Salah getting the kill as well. No Name's going to come through and trade it back. I feel like maybe they should have followed one another, kind of split up. I
feel like you shouldn't Flash Ignite when he's on single-digit health.
That's also true, actually. Yeah, pretty greedy for the kill. Oh, we'll see towards the top side. DireQ 6 first, but
yeah. So Dom,
little shaken.
Dom a little greedy there, but of course he has the TP, so he's able to get back to the wave. But Potet Salat even more greedy, now has no summoners. Needed just to press one ability. Any other button on his keyboard would have got the kill. So obviously here's the dunk from Sure. He was looking for it for a very long time. He Flash Ignite. Maybe he's scared he's not going to be able to auto him or something because the tower's in the way, but he's knocked up and slowed. You can just walk Ignite, and then you can walk auto. If Dom flashes, then you can start to look for the flash for the follow-up. You don't need to use them instantly. This is it's pretty rough now, but he has no summoners in a sticky situation. No Name has the Predator up now and is already just hitting level 6, so he's able to pretty much now farm the mid lane, especially if you bring Oliver in as well. There's not a lot that Potet Salat could do to get out of this one. However, the command Shockwave is on cooldown right now, so we wait another minute or so for that one to come back up, and then No Name will be zooming on into the mid lane. We can start to look to maybe even pick up some heralds. We see Myth have already reset their bot lane. Surely after this wave, Blue Spirits and Oliver will do the same.
A lot of attention towards the Rift Heralds. Just about to spawn. They really do want to be getting this, it looks like. No one else really around. No huge wards on it for the side of London, although No Name is creeping
not
about.
Spotted out yet.
For sure has to be a bit careful, but I think, yeah, he's kind of sold on the fact that they're heavily going for it. Mid's got priority. Oliver's starting to roam up, but I don't really think they're going to be able to contest this massively. They might be able to get the kill in towards middle, though. Shockwave coming in. The Chaos Storm goes down from Potted Salad. Not going to be enough damage, unfortunately, dished out from him, and that's what happens when you got no flash. Meanwhile, For Sure is left pretty low, and this kind of, puts the whole thing into disarray. Grand Challenge coming in. Not quite the kill. They will manage just about. How? What?
Wait.
For sure doesn't live, surely. Okay, no. Surely not.
There's no he's out here, but... holy... But, okay, so... Death by Lollipops was actually just given a perfect stun and just opts to not take it, and...
I think really mad he didn't get the kill on Krislep, on the Zarya, maybe. Because it seemed like he started walking off that way.
Okay, let's see how this one goes, right? So, a beautiful cask here, by the way. As we get the kill in midnight. Look at this cask. Completely splits all three members up and launches the Zarya into the Fiora. Perfect. At this point, you now just tank for W and land the stun onto full short or something like that. But it's
Death by Lollipops.
Yeah.
I hate to cut you off, but
no, I got nothing.
He autoed the Rift Herald instead of the Zarya.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, so I think that's why he was mega tilted and didn't also finish off for sure. I mean, he goes down eventually, right? But, you know.
You really do hate to see it. Okay, so... Peut-être Salat. Let's see. Oh! Oh, wait, there was a barrel on it. That was stealable by No Name if he popped that barrel, but he wasn't quite ready for that one, and... Rough times to be on the London squad. They don't get the Herald, they do get the kill. Now, Dragon is spawning in the bottom lane. We've got 20 seconds on that one, and as such... Blue Spirits and Oliver are in the top lane. So, not putting too much priority down on that one. I think they're maybe worried they just won't be able to win out that fight. All ultimates available on this bot half of the map. But that said, they are now moving down, so they're not looking for plate stop. They might just look to try and even trade out the mid tower, look for plates mid instead of getting this Cloud Dragon. I mean, the Fiora is here as well, but she's not too useful at a 10-minute Cloud Drake fight, but Mythos not looking to rush it, and so Blue Spirits and Oliver, using the Mo Boots and the Strut, are able to actually just move down from the top lane and get here. It's no harm, no foul, and the Drake still has not been started. Daiku taking a lot.
Yeah, has to expend the flash on the World Ender, and that is kind of gonna, as you say, setting up for Dragon. Might just give them it. Blue Spirits, though...
That's two major ults.
Back, so yeah, it's kind of a...
Ollie, no. Oh, no.
Minion dematerializer, Fat Finger, maybe?
I mean, you have to assume, right? No, but he didn't need to right there. He wouldn't have had to use them, so...
Yeah, I don't know, man.
The push isn't that important there, I don't think. Just happens.
Wanted his golden moment on the stream.
Okay, so now Daiku has been able to reset and heal up. No Name!
That is a beautiful flash forward from him. The cask as well going in, but the heal comes out in good time. Unfortunately, not able to eliminate Krislep fast enough. Cataclysm onto 2 allows for elimination of 2. They have managed to pull things back and get a double of their own, so it's all even. Meanwhile, on the back side of things, Flash has to come out from Dom. As the Umbral Chains very nearly pulling him back.
Yeah, no mana on Blue Spirits or Dom, so no contest going on of the Drake here. Of course, Gragas has died, so let's just watch this one through again. Blue Spirits has no ult, and of course, neither does the Orianna, so they get the one pick. This is some really good ults from No Name. They're able to find the kill. Blue Spirits is terrified because he has no mana. The Rakan, you are never jumping into a Fiora because this is going to happen, so they get that kill out onto him. Unfortunately, because the stopwatch, Gragas isn't really healing up through that one, but it is still the double kill handed on over to Hasib. Playing on that misfortune, he had no mana, wasn't able to do too much, but you're starting to get gold into him. And if he's finishing his Essence Reaver before Krizzle, which is looking like that's very much going to happen, given the way the gold is split right now, when he finishes that, you have a really strong team fight in that one moment. So then the pressure is going to be on to try and force a fight, whilst you have that item advantage. And it is pretty hard to not force a fight when you have a Predator Gragas, especially if his flash is up. Likewise, Oliver able to look some flash engage as well. Now No Name Predatoring into the fight. 1500 health on the Drake. Here comes the TP.
And no cask available. The Drake will go the way of Myth. However, kills seem to be going the way pretty heavily here. Dom has to be careful. Does manage to get out, but the Dragon secured at the sacrifice of so far 2 kills, maybe a few more. The cask goes straight in between both of them. The move forward from Rakan, able to get the knock up. Potted Salad almost getting taken down, but not quite. It will most likely allow for the mid tower to be secured here. So a trade of objectives. They lose the Dragon, but they perhaps get in the mid tower. Maybe not. Maokai seems to be annoying enough. They get some more plates, I guess, over on the bot side as well. For Death by Lollipops. TP difference, I guess, by what, like 10 seconds, something like that, Daiku? Not quite able to join the fight in the same way, but it's kind of hard to call who comes out on top of that one. I suppose getting a few more kills and just keeping the gold advantage in their favour for London.
The team with the 5k lead would be my call for that one. It was a very nice. Obviously, the dragon does go over to Mythos, and having that Cloud Drake is really nice when you have such hard engage on your ultimates. But what's really nice here is actually just Blue Spirit's ult. It looks like it completely misses, and let's be real, it kind of does. But it is in the truest sense a zoning ult here, because it forces Krizep up to the side here, so it's putting out damage. It's basically making Forshore stay in the middle of the team, because otherwise he's going to get run down. But the way it makes Krizep move up, then makes it really easy to land the concussive blows, the Winter's Bite from Oliver, get that stun down, get a free kill here. And speaking of free kills, nothing Daiku can do.
No, indeed. Parry coming off perfectly to just make sure he does no damage at all. Not really needed, but all the same. Kill coming in easily enough. And again, I hate to point the fingers, but I don't know. Daiku, I think, had TP up during that fight as well, right? But it was kind of maybe...
Not a lot that he brings to that fight.
I suppose. Yeah, they really needed to time it perfectly. I think if he'd have forced a TP in, it would have been too little too late.
Yeah. So, the other thing about this build here from Daiku is...
Hold on, we got the Cataclysm onto 2. Fissure does come up on the return. The flash away, the bullet time is going to be enough. Cass coming in, nice dodge. Nice flash away as well from Krislep. He's able to stay alive, but unfortunately his two teammates are not. They will go down, and that is a fight that they started. And this MF is looking very good.
Yeah. That's the Braum. You look to get the fight engaged, Braum puts up the shield, even though you hit a really nice combo, absolutely no damage. None whatsoever. So look at the fight again. Forshore comes in, gets nice engaged, gets the dunk, Lawai comes on in, and then just look at the block. There is just nothing that Krislep can do. Cannot auto at all, and then once Blue Spirit is nice and out of the cage, he throws down the ult, starts dishing out the deeps, even blowing the heal there to get that extra kill. Now 4 in the pocket of Blue Spirits, whomst might be in a UKEL oh my god, never mind Dom. You had your chance to see. Dom will be in a UKEL Insight player interview again. That's the pre-show, Sundays at 5. You can see it all there. Got highlights, breakdown the week, the patch, get some players in. Why not have a bit of fun time? There's, I believe that was on London's channel this week. I think it was on London's Twitch channel. I think we're throwing it out. I'm not sure what was going on there, but in any case, we're going to move on through. We got the tower in the top lane looking pretty low, and with no Drake up for a minute and a half, that could be a good opportunity for Death by Lollipops to move up, slap that one about a little bit. He's got his teleport available, of course, so should be able to grab that one and get on down to the Drake fight in time. And that's a fight that's looking pretty favoured for London right now.
They are pretty damn far ahead. Short side of a miracle, I think, maybe needed for Mythos at this point. They really do need something heavily to go their way, right? A disadvantageous fight or a good catch. For sure, looks to be set to do it. The quickening comes through. He flashes forward. The shockwave going to lock them both down. The Cataclysm, however, keeping Blue Spirits in, allows the damage to come in. The question now is, how does the rest of the team of London respond? With a lot of damage, unfortunately not with much else. Daiku trying to get the World Ender going forwards, unfortunately not quite able to find anything. Just wants to be a part of the fight. Just wants a bit of the action. He can't really go into a side lane because he's 7 TCS and 2 kills down.
You do hate to see it a little bit. That was the first ult, we'll say, from No Name that has not been completely stellar in this game. The rest very much so. You're allowed to have a couple. You're allowed to have a few. Okay. It's acceptable. Still blows the flashes anyway, so gets the job done, but protects the lap, stealing away the Krugs. Now the dragon has spawned up. No Name going to be on that one on spawn. Meanwhile, Death by Lollipops drawing 4 people up. This is the split push that's drawing the Prior. Surely at some point he has to realise that something's a little bit fishy and might want to try and get away from that one. But the problem with Daiku's build here is that he's gone for this, let's be honest, it's a really greedy build. Yeah, it's kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Where you go for this double CDR, because CDR is obviously such a lovely stat to have on the Aatrox. And yeah, it's only 1900 gold, but you're so behind, you need a real item, you know?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Death by Lollipops baited in completely. I mean, not going to take him down.
1v4.
But again, using an awful lot to... Yeah, he's cool. But, using a lot to save Daiku there on the Mythos side, and that seems to be a little bit the story of this game so far, or at least one of the subplots. But yeah, again, it kind of comes down to this. You know, I think Daiku individually, not a bad player, but in this team environment is not quite used to into, you know, a bigger picture environment, right? This is very much the thing that you would build in solo queue on Aatrox, right? Sure, you know, you're trying to just go with what you know works, what you're confident with, and what usually is successful for you. But the bigger picture aspect of it, of like, okay, if I am not able to hold things down in the side lane, if I am, you know, not able to join the fights effectively, the whole team's going to suffer, not just like my elo or whatever, right? So I think it's a very different mindset that he's maybe not quite used to as yet.
Yeah, well, what it is, it's a very good build if you're even or ahead, because 1900 gold, 20% CDR, disgusting. You get loads of AD, loads of health, you're having a pretty good time. The problem is that it's just not useful. He dies in one rotation anyway. It doesn't matter how fast he gets his rotation back up, because he's so behind. So you need something that can really help the team. Like I said, you need to get, you know, something like the Foreshore, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. He's a little ahead of the team. However, able to survive thanks to the heals coming in, and they will manage both kills. That is a very similar scenario. They're playing, you know, off of the picks of, okay, I'm EQing in, pop the quickening, I'll Cataclysm. Doesn't matter that maybe you're a little bit further behind because they're going to be locked in the cage, and you'll be able to, you know, just keep the CC rolling on these two players. And despite the fact that Blue Spirits is with his support, it just isn't quite enough. They maybe need to think about, you know, okay, we've got to stay away from bits of terrain that Jarvan could possibly get over, or we need to start grouping so that, like, you know, we can actually punish that. Because For Sure was very, very early on that, right? Very nearly goes down.
Oh, yeah.
The heal pop from Krislep and the heal, of course, from the Rakan. But because there's only two of them and it's a 4v2, it kind of works out.
Oh, excellent. Here's the replay.
So 3v2, actually, maybe.
Thing is here, the Blue Spirits doesn't have his flash. That's the vital part here, right? If he had it, this is completely different. So this will not happen again, because they get the damage out, and yeah, you're seeing the block here from Oliver, but Salat is able to hit over it. And so even though he's throwing a lot into the shield, Krislep gets those like few autos down through, and then it's just the ignite and really the ult from Salat that are doing enough damage, and then Oliver, bit of a tilt flash forward, trying to secure that kill. But that will never happen again. Or at least it will happen not one time, but then at some point within the next 5 minutes it might happen again. As that is how Flash works. So.
But I think as well, there's a few things there from Mythos. There's obviously on the London side of things, but like Mythos, it's not the cleanest of plays, right? The Zaya's actually kind of far away. If there's another member, you know, let's say Gragas is nearby, props his Predator, suddenly that fight most likely goes the way of London, because For Sure is just so far ahead of everybody else, and Zaya, I suppose it's nice that she arrives as soon as the Braum shield goes down, so it's like there's no way of keeping her damage to a minimum, but all the same, they're playing this very pick-based League of Legends. I think they're starting to get savvy to it on the London side of things, but do need to be careful, because this is how Mythos claw their way back, right, by getting these catches.
Well, something important to keep your eye on is Salat's build right now. He's not sure how much gold he's on right now, but he's got 2 upgrades, so needs 1k for the third and 1100 to finish off his death cap. So once he has that sort of 2150 he needs, he's currently sat on 700, so he's got a while, 1400 gold, before he's able to pick up those. But that will be a huge spike when he has both the death cap and the upgrade to his hex core as well. Just an obscene amount of AP, and as we saw about last fight, when he drops the ult behind Oliver, he will be able to go around that Braum shield, which is so vital in these fights. Meanwhile, 2 items have been finished for Death by Lollipops, Blue Spirits, and No Name. So pretty heavy spikes being hit by the London squad. When we think they're hitting 2 items, some people cough Daiku, cough on Mythos side, not even hitting 1 yet. So good times to be on the London squad, as now the Dragon will be spawning up in the bot lane. As I said earlier, we get a nice calming Ocean Rift, but no Ocean Drakes to be taken, as it looks like the Baron is actually started up by Mythos. They're going to try and rush this one out, but they've very quickly been spotted out by a ward that they did not see with their pinks, and Death by Lollipops is still able to secure the Drake. Good call to leave him behind. Daiku might look for a little something, but Oliver going to be able to run him down, knock him up with the ult.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Good flash.
Nicely timed flash. Yeah, for sure. That was very nearly, especially with the pressure on mid that came through off of the Baron attempt. Very nearly a good kill to be picking up. And again, to just keep on, if you can find that, and this is what I was... Imagine if the Aatrox gets banned out. I don't really know what other big comforts Daiku has. Maybe he's got a couple others, but I'm really not sure. We'll see here. The dive coming in easily enough as well. Not able to get away. Yeah, and it's
that's his comfort
certainly an
pick.
issue for Mythos, right? I mean, I think that's what he played last week. He tweets an awful lot about you know, grinding it
Obviously,
out.
this is a very hard matchup. Obviously,
Yeah.
Fiora versus Aatrox. He's so telegraphed. It's a very nifty counter, and it's something that you need to sort of work with your jungler. You need to say, okay, look, she's going to play really cocky early because she can get a huge lead. This is not something that Mythos did. However, if I was a jungler, I would stay 20 miles away from top lane when Daiku like lost his entire health bar on the first wave. You know, the man had like 6 CS to 25 or something like that, like the 4-minute mark. So you have to worry for that one a little bit. But now the Baron has been started up. No vision in the pit, courtesy of this pink, but you cannot pink out a Jarvan flag. Now vision secured by Mythos as they have a pink of their own in the pit. Nice guy Dom is zoning a little bit, and
Ooh.
it resets. They're too scared. They say, no, we're not going to risk the 50-50. It's the only way right now that London can lose this game is if Mythos steal that Baron. So we're going to peace, we're going to calm it, we're going to back out. Meanwhile, the Tetsalat has finished off the death cap, and he is recalling now, so I don't think he's going to have enough to upgrade. Yep. No upgrades coming through, just pinks instead. But again, just keep your eyes on that build from Tetsalat. Likewise, keep your eyes on Daiku. Once he hits the cleaver, at least he'll be able to lower people's armor before he dies in the middle of 4 people. So it could be pretty useful, that one. So keep your eyes peeled. Now, For Sure, of course, has his gargoyles, which is pretty nice. You get very tanky, but not great when everyone has 2 items already. So kind of getting 1 hit anyway, especially when you are 6 levels below the opposing top laner. Season 10. But
Indeed.
Death by Lollipop's pretty high level. Likewise, nice guy Dom, level 15. But don't worry, guys, jungle's a broken role. For Sure's level 10, nice guy Dom's level 15. But don't worry, jungle's broken.
No bitterness at all. Yeah, Daiku is just gonna get chased down. I know it has been a bit of an interesting season so far.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we kind of expect this from Daiku. He walks into the lane, he gets ulted, he dies, but he does not have his cleaver, so at least he brings a little something to a team fight. Of course, he was always bringing the crowd control. Now he's bringing a little bit extra.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult one though, right? Because the Fiora is never going to join this team, right? She's just going to look to keep on splitting and either getting towers or abusing Daiku or doing both. And it has drawn the victor away. So now this fight is even more, in theory, in favor of London. But once again, they are kind of scared away. They're actually going to group up with Death by Lollipops and move towards middle. So they're going for more the bigger macro play, which I think could certainly work out for them. Maybe crack open the mid, get the inhib down.
Yeah, of course, they have the priority, have the inside track kiss. They're able to move on through, try up and hit the tower. No stun available for the victor right now, so that tower will go down. Big chunk out onto Daiku. No magic resist there, so the dual pen really doing some work. But nice guy Dom. And that tower is knocked down, so now you can have the Fiora split push the mid lane. Here we go. Pretty nicely. Of course, Death by Lollipops just wants to keep chilling in bot, keep farming kills on Daiku. The man has 3 items. He's built obscenely for the 1v1 for that side lane, has no intention of ever being at a team fight. And London are taking an awful lot of damage when they keep starting up these Barons, getting them to 2k health and then cooling it off because they're worried about the steal. And there doesn't seem to be anything Mythos can do to capitalize on this, but I feel like surely, you know, when No Name loses half his health bar to thing, because remember that this is the obviously AP focused Gragas build. All his tankiness comes from the W damage reduction, the fact that he can CC people so they can't hit him, and then it's Onya's. So if he's getting to half health versus the Baron, I feel like there's opportunities for Laolai to come in and try and just get a little bit of chain CC going. Try and make something happen, lock people down, dip in, knock someone up, dip out, find yourself a kill, and get out of it alive, as Rakan is one to do. But instead, they're not going to
I quite like that, you know. That's a massive bait forward from Laukai just to try and get the Jarvan into a decent position. He looks to survive on the back end of things. No, he's actually going to end up going down. Meanwhile, the MF spins around, gets the kill onto the Rakan. Death by Lollipop's running down the back line, looks to kill them all. And that is an ace. That is a fairly one-sided team fight. Maybe, you know, 3k damage done across the board to the team. I think they might just finish off that as well, to be honest, with the double cannon wave that they've got coming in here, and every single member left alive.
It's the game, the focus, not Mythos the engage that you were looking for there from Lauwai. They had to give it a go, though. When you're down 13... Oh, Hasib! You hate to see it. When you're down 13k, that's not what you want. Did I ruin his KDA? No, he already had one left at least, so no KDA ruin today, but... Oh. That's a rough one. Let's see. What was his KDA at the very end there? 6 and 3. Okay. Not a KDA ruiner to die to the Nexus there. But London, able to pick up that first win there in this series. They're able to have a pretty nice time. I say first win. It's the best of one. It's that is it. That's the win. There's no more. They did it. Congratulations.
Yeah, indeed. And I believe Mythos going 1-1 now with that. They won last week. But yeah, there are some clear issues. Again, kind of speaking from experience and knowing the guy, and you know, I casted with him, and he's a great guy and everything. But Daiko, I think, is his own worst enemy, right? Mentally, kind of thing. If he's not in the game, it's kind of difficult. And League of Legends is a game where, unlike, you know, there's no reset, right? If you start off badly, the rest of the game's going to go bad. You know, it's very difficult for you to kind of come back from that, rather than, you know, oh, I'll just wait for the next round. I'll just wait for the, you know. So I feel like that's something that maybe personally he needs to deal with. But the thing is as well, Mythos, you kind of look to them as a team, played very heavily around that top side as well.
Oh, there's a lot of jungle up there, yeah.
Yeah, London looked to abuse it, and Mythos were kind of like, okay, let's go towards that side and just keep giving pressure, keep giving like dragons and, you know, whatever it may be across to London, rather than, I think maybe sometimes it's maybe an idea to be like, okay, mid seems to be doing all right, let's focus a bit more pressure there and, you know, try and get him ahead.
Yeah, there's, I mean, just, yeah, like I said, definitely a lot going on in the solo lanes. And I mean, you were saying about how Daikyu, there's no reset in this game. Honestly, he wanted a reset on the first wave. Like, from the first wave.
Can we start again? Can we just start again?
And the thing is that, like, so the plan was clearly there for London. We saw that Machete start on the Gragas, so he was looking to, you know, get that very early gank with the 3 camps up into the top lane. Didn't work at all. Obviously, the gank, you know, forces away a bit, and then you get that really nice push coming back for Fiora. So it was kind of okay in that regard, and then obviously you bring the Gragas back in, you pick up the kill where they blew the flash, and that's really when the lane started to get completely out of control. But off the back of that first gank, we then saw a blind invade from the Gragas, and again, he had no idea where they were. None at all. Still goes for the blinding invade. And, I mean, it worked out really well, but I feel like it shouldn't have, you know?
Yeah, it was a bit cheeky. It was a bit cheeky, for sure.
A bit cheeky briefly, yeah.
So before we close things for this second game, and of course you and I move off, we're bringing in a little bit of a newer thing. Your MVP. Who would you look towards for that MVP on the side of London?
I think it just absolutely has to be in the jungle. Yeah, gotta give it out over to